RWL is going to be a very vital skill for them to kind of fend off any movements from SMG SG, right? And of course, looking at the rotations by Revival, it was much cleaner than SMG SG. They were kind of baited into the rotations of Revival. They were really in the driver's seat.
Now, I think SMG SG, this spot right here, Melissa looks very nice. The Atlas beta links all the way in, you throw your puppet out, and it's just 3 easy pickings, 3 damage spread all across the board. You also have the Atlas to tank, you also got the knockup coming up from Rum, and just in case if someone wants to run away, you have Joe that uses the Lilia with the Ice Cream Wand. You slow down everyone to run away from that. I'm loving this Melissa pick. It's also something that you can deny the Diref to jump on top of you as well. So this could be what SMG SG could be going for, but knowing that the Revival selected a marksman, SMG SG is going to be Rum that goes for the Benedetta, but also Benedetta could be going into the jungle. So it's very wide open for the side of SMG right now.
Yep, I like the flexibility in the draft by SMG SG. They're keeping things open and viable at this point.
And also for the Eve too.
Yeah, it looks like they want to put the pressure on Revival, right? Okay, bear in mind, regardless the result of today's game, Team SMG will definitely be in the top 4. So I think they are riding on that to kind of put the pressure on Revival, right? Revival's lifeline now depends on this match. If I'm not wrong, they should have the win.
Looking at Team SMG's lineup, the question is if whether Benedetta or Paquito is going to go to the jungle.
That's correct.
Honestly, in my opinion, it kind of seems as though it is going to be a Benedetta jungle. It could very well be a Benedetta jungle and then a Paquito in the EXP lane, namely based on the fact that Paquito that goes over to the EXP lane would be able to do a better job against the Diref. And not to forget, it's easier for him to weave past the members of Revival and reach Yves in order to get his knockup punch onto the Yves. Benedetta, even though if he goes over to the EXP lane, yeah, sure, he's just going to be split pushing most of the time, and Revival might not have an answer to it. But now that they picked up these Esmeralda, my idea of Benedetta in the into the jungle would be a lot more feasible, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean this is nice, right? From the side of Revival, QDX love on the Rafaela, Ryan gonna go back on his Esmeralda. I think it's workable. I think it's workable at this point. But the question is, can QDX Love really pull, you know, the strings from his end? Because as a Rafaela, if you're unable to support your carries, is kind of hard, right? And this looks pretty decent in the early game. I think it can provide them quite a lot of support for the Eve as well. But SMG SG, knowing how they play extremely aggressively, I would like to see how this game works out.
And with that all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be going into the Land of Dawn, Sanctum Island, between Team SMG versus Revival. Revival took the first game against SMG. It is up to SMG to find out, or rather, it's up to them to deter the aggression for Revival and bring this series into game number 3. Would that even happen? Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, that's right, that's right. And now, just looking at how... I love this draft coming out from both sides. Both sides know what they want to do once again. I like the Rafaela because of the slow of Joe that could provide. And don't forget the muddles coming out from Enya as well. That is to allow to disengage. At the same time, you also have Ryan to come in for the flanks at the back line as well. But that's where Enya needs to time his ultimate properly to deny LYFL to jump on top of him, to deny the Esmeralda to jump on top of him as well.
Alright, so not right now, we can pretty much tell that the Diref is going to go to the jungle and Esmeralda into the EXP lane. Because of the fact that Esmeralda was picked, we pretty much have a very good idea who is going to go where. And as for now, Joxxx is playing as the Benedetta, so he is going to be the jungle Benedetta. He does have Demon Slayer on him. Very likely, he's gonna go tank as well. Rum, a quick little run for it, and interestingly, he did pick up Sprint as a respect call over to Swirled that is playing as the Yves. So indeed, he is going to be the one to rush right into the face of Swirled. Having the quick punches, having the movement speed, he's gonna do things pretty efficiently. In the meantime, speaking of efficiently, Joxxx just gonna be moving himself over to the members of Revival. Was hoping that he will be able to avenge for Dairy, but alas, he did not.
And not only just that, right, LI4 pick up that first kill. The Daryl will be picking up that first blood. That's more gold. Playing very aggressively from the side of Revival. This is not the usual Revival we see. And not only just that, the gold lane, it is Enya that's actually slightly behind. Usually it's the Bruno that will be overhauled on Joe.
I have no idea what was going on there, but he has been waddling around like a little penguin, not too sure that the the sheet of ice below her feet is about to break. And in the end, he did go down. The Lilia didn't really hold quite a candle against the Yi. And it's Lilia, level 3, Swirled, level 4.
Oh, that's not looking good. You know, Revival picking up the first blood, already hit the turtle, and also with an EXP lead against SMG SG on, you know, both lanes, in my opinion. Rum just hitting level 4, and also the gold lane as well, and they are still stuck at level 3. Peace, on the other hand, already have the ultimate, could easily shred through armor. You couple that with LI4 Dyrov as well. That's a lot of armor being torn apart.
There's this small little problem that I see within our Revival's game plan is the fact that they have a support roam in the name of QDX Love using the Rafaela. Now, if SMG SG doesn't really work a lot of split pushes, that will be great, right? Oh. Because of the fact that Revival, they are going to go for team fight against team fight. But there is a Benedetta, there is a Paquito. Both of them can be efficient in the split pushes, and the only one that can really respond to split pushes is the Esmeralda to a certain extent. That is she is the one that can put on more of that pressure. And if Esmeralda is not in a team fight, Revival have got no one to open up the maps at all, and gonna have to leave to that very paper Rafaela in the mid stages of the game, and the only thing that she would have is probably a single item.
Yeah, we're only 3 minutes in, the gold lead is starting to gap. 2k gold lead in the favor of Revival. The wave clear is being matched by Swirled. Joel's starting to keep spamming. The turtle will be coming in 30 seconds, but members of Revival, they've got full map control. Looking at Joxxx, he's just running away. Tails tucked between his legs, and he will get some damage.
Well, LI4 is definitely really painful. Wow. In the meantime, there have been some strikes and connects down onto Dairy. RWM is used to zone Dairy, ensuring that he would not be able to get an easy escape. Now, with Revival into the upper quadrants of SMG's jungle, they are trying to lay down a trap. But unfortunately, SMG is not gonna bite the bait. In the end, they still took their own orange buff.
And not only just that, right? Revival forced the ultimate out of Joxxx, which means that this turtle is definitely free over for Revival again. It's tough for SMG to bounce back this. Look at that. Lanes are being win from in the favor of Revival for all sides. Even the jungle Joxxx right now. Oh, LI4 just showing the jungle dominance for all of us.
And now a beautiful fatal links right now from the side of Dairy, immediately pulling most of the members from the side of Revival right in between of the first tier and the second tier turret. But in the end, they have only gotten a single kill, which is onto LY4 for a trade for Enya. Joxxx almost going down as well.
Enya doesn't really have enough damage. Like I said, SMG, they need more time to build up, but Revival, they're not giving them any form of time at all. They're not going to give them any reprieve. They will press on, put salt in that wound.
And Rum coming in from behind was hoping to go for a flank. Did not manage to do much damage, understandably, but he will continue to put on some pressure in the other lanes, going in head-to-head against the Esmeralda. All in all, we're looking at 5 minutes into the game with about 4 kill deficit from SMG as well as 3,000 gold deficit. What exactly is SMG SG doing wrong here?
I think they lost the early game already. Joxxx, you know, LI4 has been hard invading Joxxx. Usually it was supposed to be the other way around, but LI4 is showing that, hey, I am still relevant in this game. I'm still relevant in Revival. I'm showing how to hard invade. He's the one that received all that invade in the previous weeks, and he's just doing that against SMG SG.
At this point in time, Dairy has got a big role to fill. He's gonna be the one to open up the map and really find an opportunity to bring the members of Revival into him and give them one big hug. It's not exactly something that Joxxx gotta have to do. Ryan flew himself right in, Black Shoes activated, and while Ryan trying to get himself away from the grasp of Joe and Enya, in the end, he still went down to the hands of SMG. Definitely a great start for SMG lead as they slowly getting themselves back on tempo.
Yeah, they get some goal lead back, but Revival focuses on the turtle instead. That equalizer wasn't very equalizing at all. Revival still has the turtle advantage. Now SMG SG, they just need to slow it down once again. It's very hard to ask a very hyper-aggressive, but here we go.
And Joxxx is wanting to get himself inside, but now we are going to be looking at Peace immediately going straight in because of the fatal link, but he did manage to get himself all the way. Now I4 taken down by the hands of SMG, looking to be pretty good as SMG. They're slowly getting themselves kills by kills, albeit only one, but hey, a win is a win.
Yeah, one slow step at a time. SMG, they're closing out their gold gap right here. The flanks has been coming very crucial. Enya and also Dairy, those models and also the Fatal Links will be crucial. Dairy needs to land a perfect Fatal Links. You saw Peace has to burn the Flicker just to get out of safety, and Enya slowly to stack up items.
Revival already have reached the point in time where they can initiate a lane swap, as Peace have managed to bring down the first tier defense turret in the top lane, allowing the Esmeralda to be ever so agile after unlocking herself, not needing to pay too much attention to the top lane. As long as she pushed it all the way out, she can start roaming around, she can start being in the team fights. So I believe that Revival knows what they gotta have to do. They need to ensure that Esmeralda is not constantly split pushing, not constantly doing pressure. She needs to be part of the team fight. This is a very team fight composition. Without Esmeralda, Revival will have a tough time into the later stages of the game.
SMG, they're starting to pick up the items, the goal lead's starting to close, but a Revival right here looking for some pick-offs. They need to try to make sure that they find Enya to stop him from actually scaling, but at the same time, you know, you see QDX Love just staying around Peace, making sure that he's well protected, and there's also that heal, there's also that map opening from the side of QDX Love. This Rafaela actually pulling its own weight.
Somehow Rafaela is still able to open up the map pretty nicely.
Yeah.
SMG is pretty darn scared as well.
There
They haven't been starting up fights, but right as I was talking about it, they did manage to start out a fight. As now Swirled, they immediately went straight in for the Purify to get himself out of the Fatal Links. Darien unfortunately was caught in the crossfire right after Fatal Links, taken down by the hands of Bruno. Joe is also taken down with 2 casualties from the side of SMG.
So much investment all the way just to kill LY4. That was a big statement provided from Revival all the way to SMG SG. Swirled need to burn the Purify just to get out of dodge. But then again, SMG, did they manage to convert anything at all? It's up to Joxxx to make things work.
Joxxx, he doesn't have the leg to final blow, unfortunately. Rum was hoping that he will be able to get himself away from all of that. Enya comes in from behind, Bardo's protection. He's gonna be safe for now, but unfortunately, Ryan comes in with a little bit of a Stardust dance, brings him down to her knees.
And not only just that, Revival crack open the mid lane turret already. So much map control in the favor of Revival, and they're gonna escalate that even more. Expect Revival to start hard invading against SMG SG as they prep for the Lord.
It's definitely something that SMG was trying to do, a high-risk, high-reward gameplay, and SMG has been kind of working onto that for quite a bit. So far, things are not exactly towards their expectations, and a quick little rundown on the items ought to tell us a little bit more of the story.
Yeah, this Rafaela building pure tank for the time being. Already brute force breastplate, allowing her to get even more movement speed and also do a bit more, not say damage, but like so that he could actually catch up onto the person they need to slow. Bruno, on the other hand, Berserker's Fury, Scarlet Phantom already built out. You're gonna expect this piece to do a lot of crit damage, but look at that Dire item building in pure tank once again.
Well, nothing too big of a surprise. At this point in time, Dairy, where is he flying to? He flew damn far! As now the real world manipulations pop, a lot of the members for SMG is not even within the grid. So this is exactly what I was talking about for SMG. They needed to make plays like this. They don't have to think too much about team fights. If you gotta pop it, you just pop it. You will be able to deny something away from the opponents and waste some resources.
Yeah, this was what we wanted from game number 1 from the side of SMG SG, right? You use the real world manipulation to zone. You don't use it for the kills. Look at how Swirled has been using it to take objectives after objectives. SMG SG now starting to fall a little bit behind in terms of goal lead runs again. This is not very comfortable for SMG SG. Now, Joxxx also building a little bit more tankiness. They need to find that perfect Fatal Links. Once again, Dairy needs to find that perfect opportunity, but Revival, they're not syncing together as a big whole clump together so that the Fatal Links doesn't hit. and this makes sure that they stay safe.
This is a very unfortunate thing for me to say, but this game relies a lot onto Dairy.
Yeah.
Yes, Joxxx can just go in, do a bit of damage, passive damage and burn coming in from the Cursed Helm, and not to forget, all of the skills that Joxxx is able to bring right through. But the one that really makes the play is going to be Atlas. As long as he makes one good Fatal Link, the members of Revival is going to be sent into a frenzy. Thanks to Joe, thanks to Enya, Ram will be able to get himself closer to Swirled. It doesn't really even matter if Swirled is not caught within of the Fatal Links because we have a Paquito.
And not only just that, look at Swirl and QDX Love. The Purify coming in very clutch. I think Derry this time around playing a little bit more passive, and because of Derry playing even passive, this allows the Purify to come back online even faster. Now it's all up to Ram. How is he going to cut the way? Because take a look at that. Ryan has been consistently being on the side lane, making sure that SMG SG hands are full. All the turrets are already cleared. A Revival is setting up for the Lord in 20 seconds.
There's now Dairy. Perfect match, but it's not going to be touching himself onto anyone just yet. Joxxx jumps himself right behind the KDX Love. He got a bit of an idea and of course opened up the map for his fellow team so that they know when to jump right in, and this is the point in time. Ryan, he came from behind. He did manage to snatch right out of Enya. That is a surprise for both sides, and SMG is the one that suffered the most amount of casualty.
And there's no way that SMG could get out there. Derry was a little bit too aggressive, pulling everyone down. But then again, Revival turned the tail around. QDX Love, this heal, this slows. The slow denial for the side Revival is actually making it work.
It's a 4 versus 1. Revival doesn't have the Lord. So hey, at least the good thing for SMG is that they managed to keep themselves in the game for a little tad bit while longer. The Lord is now available. 42,000 HP onto itself. SMG has now all came back to life. Dairy has put himself at the top brush and was hoping that he will be able to keep an eye on the Lord. But now they have no vision. The only thing that they can do is fight back the members from Revival, which is definitely something that they will do. As now it is going to be Esmeralda taken down. Swirl brings up to the grid, but all of the members from SMG runs quickly away. Bruno stayed behind to deal with the Lord, while the rest of the members coming from the side of Revival just going to be continuing down. The Void Crystal unfortunately wasn't able to do much, but that is the Abyssal Strike. He connects down on the members of SMG, continues to rain down hammers and pain. That is 3 members from SMG taken down. The Lord is still not taken yet.
LY for the massive daddy or Revival. Man, SMG SG poured every single thing onto that guy and he can't be killed. And you top that with QDX Love's heal, it just makes it ridiculous for SMG SG to deal with, and Revival, they have the Lord now.
Well, finally, they have got the Lord. There is no vision, there is no understanding of the health bars of the Lord. Revival gets himself the second one, and this ought to end the game. The top lane somehow got pushed so darn far. If only SMG has found the opportunity to actually go for the split push, it will be fun. But SMG, they just wouldn't dare to go for the split push. In fact, now is actually a pretty good time. Or rather, not say now, but at this point in the game, Joxxx, whenever there is no neutral objective, he should look to go for a little bit more split push, and only if he really need to, join back into the fight. Because yes, they are losing, but the longer you drag out the game by exerting pressure on the other side, and I think that it should go well.
Yeah, SMG SG, I think, or whatever they want to do with this draft get denied by QDX Love, right? Joe's slow doesn't really feel like much anymore because of the heal, and the damage of SMG SG gets neutralized by the heal at the same time. And you saw how much damage that QDX Love can heal LI for back into almost, not say full hell, but so much damage on the side of SMG SG just get nullified by Revival's draft right here. And now bottom lane has been cracked open. Revival, just have to set up the siege.
Ram finally has got his Hunter Strike, so even he himself can go for some split push. But would that even be any possibility? Would they even be able to drag on the game long enough? Dairy still has his Fatal Links, and all of the members from Revival is pretty close to one another. Going through the gates here in the middle lane is when things are gonna be great. But here comes Joxxx coming from behind, trying to tackle down the Swirled. That Electro-Final Blow will be able to deal a decent amount of damage on the Swirled. Round continues down the Swirled, but to take a look at the back lines, it is gonna be Dairy. He did manage to connect his Fatal Links onto quite a lot of people. Enya, unfortunately, is going to be in the hot eyes of peace, but he did manage to enter himself right into the fountain just in the nick of time. Joxxx He bought a lot of time as well as he continues down to take all the damage on the 4 other people. But Revival, they continued on. A lot of them can still be healthy, and they brought down the core with style.
And Revival, the miracle worker this time round, instead of going in a 2-1 fashion, they ended the game in a 2-0. Not losing in the 2-0 fashion, but winning in the 2-0 fashion. Revival came back from the pits.
Well, looks like they don't have to revive anymore. They don't have to lose in order to perform. Because technically speaking, 1, 2, 3, 4